my name is Judith and welcome to my channel, or back to my channel. Today we are doing my April wrap up, my May TBR, and my current reads. So yeah, that's what today's video is gonna be. My wrap up's not very big because I have not been in the mood to read all year until like mid-April, but I've read 3 books since then. So let's go over them today because 2 out of 3 were 5 stars. So it was a good start to the year. So the first book I finished in April was Twisted Love by Anna Huang. Now I gave this 2.5 stars, but I enjoyed it, which is confusing. There were more things in it that I didn't like than did like, so that's why I got 2.5 stars. This book follows Ava Chin and Alec Volkov. They both have trauma from the past. Ava can't remember hers. It's her childhood is blacked out. She can't remember her childhood. And Alex can't forget his trauma from his childhood. So there's that. Yeah, and it's this is a grumpy sunshine, which is my favorite romance trope, all-time favorite. However, this was there's a fine line between grumpy and being an asshole. And Alex was an asshole. He was just mean for no reason to everyone. And I'm what is happening? And I did not like it. He's all about revenge. And I'm get over it. I mean, yeah, what happened to you sucks. More than sucks. It's terrible. It's tragic. But you're also 30. Fix your shit. Go deal with it. Go to therapy. Deal with it. Stop being so hyper-focused on this revenge. It just got annoying. I loved Anna Huang's writing. I did. I loved Ava. I adored her. She was sunshine, but she wasn't childish, which I feel this trope can fall into that a lot with the sunshine girl being very childish. But she stood her own ground. She acted like an adult. She was sweet. She was positive. She looked at the world with such positive light. But also don't cross her because she will fuck you up, you know? And I really liked that about her. Okay, listen. I didn't mind Alex when I was hearing him from her perspective. But when I was in his head, in his perspective, it was the literal worst thing in my entire life. It was awful. I could not stand being inside that man's head. I did not want to be there. I wanted to bash my head against a wall. It was awful. The plot wasn't my favorite either. It just took a turn that I didn't care for, I didn't care about. I was this is very dark and dramatic for no reason. What was the reason? So I just wasn't here for it. Okay, so the spice in this was great. However, there wasn't enough of it for me to feel okay with dealing with Alex, if that makes sense. Spice only happened 2 or 3 times throughout the whole book, and I was me. However, I did like this one enough to pick up the second book in the series. And I'm so happy I did because I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. This is Twisted Games. I love this book. I ate it up. I love Bridget and Reese so freaking much. I can't even explain it. Bridget is one of Ava's friends from the first book, and she's a princess, and so Reese is her bodyguard. It's a bodyguard love romance. I've learned that trope is my new favorite. Bodyguard, grumpy sunshine. Bonus points if it's both. And this is kind of both. The characters in this one felt more fleshed out and multi-dimensional than they did in her first book of the series. And I loved it. The spice was a lot more common. It happened a lot more, and it was a lot better. Not just throw that out there, but it was so good. 10 out of 10 for the spice as well. I also read Throttled by Lauren Asher. The spice in this was good. It wasn't a priority in this book the way it was in Anna Huang's. It wasn't very it happened, but it wasn't common. It wasn't a major point, a major part of the book. However, the romance was so good. It was so sweet. This follows Maya and Noah. Noah is a Formula 1 driver. For he drives race carts. He's a racer. And Maya's brother, Santiago, joins this Formula 1 team that Noah is on. And they're enemies. They have a history. They don't get along. So they're going on a world tour, and Maya goes with Santiago along this tour because she wants to be a vlogger. And so she joins along to vlog the whole thing and live her little social media life. Okay, what do I love about this book? Noah went to therapy. He acknowledged the fact that he is shit he needs to work on, and he did it. He did it. He put in the work. I ate that up. I ate that up. Oh my God. I was like, you just got so much hotter for that. I loved how the characters acted. They were fleshed out, they were very in-depth. There's just a lot to them. And I also like really loved the fact that so Noah was very closed off, very like just brooding, like in his own head. And he knew he could not provide Maya with the relationship she wanted. And Maya knew that she's a girlfriend girl, like she wants that. So when things are getting heated between them, they both decide to walk away like amicably because they know that they can't work together right now. Like obviously they get together in the end, but in that moment they're like, I'm not gonna try and change you. We just don't work like that right now. We both want different things. And I really appreciated that because to me, I feel like that's something that should happen more in relationships and like in real life and in books, is that when you know someone doesn't want what you want or can't give you what you want, walk away. Like don't try and change them. Don't try and change yourself for them. Walk away. I really appreciated that this did that. So super hot. Basically, now I want a race car driving boyfriend. And I picked up the rest of the series as well. Oh, I also picked up the rest of the series of this as well. That's it for my reading wrap up. I don't know if I said it, but I gave this 5 stars. Now, as for what I'm currently reading Book Lovers on audiobook. I'm like slowly checking through this one. I don't know why. I can't tell you where I'm at in this because I'm listening to it on audiobook, but I like it so far. Nothing's really happened. I'm honestly probably on like page 50. That's by Emily Henry, by the way. And then the other one I'm reading right now, which I'm loving, and I literally read 150 pages in one sitting yesterday, and that is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. This is the 3rd book in the Twisted series. This follows Jules and Josh, which Josh is Ava's brother and Jules is her best friend. This is a enemies to lovers, which I was like very annoyed with in the beginning. Like I'm not an enemies to lovers girl. Like I'm a bickering girl and I'm like maybe don't get along girl, but I'm not a enemies to lovers type of person. But this is like slowly changing my mind because listen, I got to the first spicy scene and I was like, it was literally the hottest thing I've ever read in my entire life. So I'm eating it up. I also like, when they're fighting, it really like annoys me. I'm like, stop. But when they're like being friends and nice to each other, I eat it up. I'm like, yes, please. So basically, I'm not a fight with my lover type of girl, but I'm enjoying this one. Would I intentionally pick up another enemies to lovers book? No. But would I read one? Sure. So there's this. In this one, Josh is a resident. So he's like becoming a doctor, but he's cocky, has a huge ass ego. He's gorgeous. That's what the back says. And he's not one for relationships, and neither is Jules, because Jules is ambitious as well. She wants to be a lawyer. She's like, I don't have time for all of this. I have things I want to do first. And she like kind of slays. She also has a really bad reputation, especially with Josh. Like Josh looks at her in such a negative light. He thinks she's a terrible influence on his sister. He thinks she's selfish, like only cares about herself and not anyone around her. And that's just because her past has made her that way, where like she doesn't show who she really is because it's a face she's putting on. I'm seeing a lot of myself in Jules, and so she's a soft spot in my heart. As for the rest of the books I want to read this month, it's a little ambitious, especially considering I only read 3 books last week. There are 6 books here. The first one is going to be Twisted Lies, again by Anna Huang. This is the 4th and final book in the Twisted series. This one follows Christian Harper, who is a friend / boss of Reese from Bridget's story, and Stella, who's another one of Ava's friends. I don't really know much about it. I just know Christian is rich and Stella is an influencer. She's a blogger. I think either a food blogger or fashion blogger. But I'm least excited about this one because I feel like out of all the books I've read so far, like in this series, Stella is the one we know the least about. Like she's the one that's never really around at all. Like, or if she is, she's in the background. Like she's not like showing much of her personality. So I'm not super excited to get into this one, but I know I'm gonna eat it up. So there's that. The next 3 are all part of the same series. This is the rest of the series of Throttled, which is the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. So I have Collided, Wrecked, and Redeemed. This follows more people from like the original story. So this follows Sophie and Liam. Liam is in Formula 1 as well, but for a different team. And Sophie's dad owns or is in charge of the Formula 1 team that Noah and Santiago are on. The third one follows Elena and Jax. I don't know who Elena is, but Jax is like this British guy who's on the same team as Liam. And then Redeemed follows Chloe and Santiago. Don't know who Chloe is, but Santiago is Maya's brother. Picked up these 2 yesterday. I have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, which is the first book in another series by Lauren Asher. So I don't know what this one's about. So I'll let you know when I do. And then the last book I want to read this month is Ice Planet Barbarian by Ruby Dixon. I literally drove an hour yesterday to pick up this one because Ruby Dixon stopped by this Barnes & Noble and signed them and put stickers and a bookmark in it, and I was like, I have to get it. This one is just an alien romance, which I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm gonna read it because this series is like super hyped up. So I have high hopes going into it. When I bought this at the bookstore, the lady was like, oh, and this one, the one that everyone's going crazy about right now. And I was like, I don't know if you meant that funny, but you kind of said it with an attitude, but all right. Like, if you want to shame me for buying an alien romance, go for it. I don't care. So yeah, I picked this one up and I'm excited to read it. So yeah, that is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna have my Goodreads and also my Bookstagram linked in the description. I think I'm gonna start posting on my Bookstagram again because it was just like fun. If you like the video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.